Alright, so let me just compare the difference between Nick Sorensen and Robert Saleh. This will convince you guys why this Niners defense will be back to top 5. It's going to be a quick turnaround. So in 2024, we were playing this waiting game, and we eventually decided to promote Nick Sorensen as our DC, which at the time I just didn't like that move at all. And to make things even worse, you brought in Brandon Staley, Brandon Staley only had one good resume, was with the Rams, but after that, his resume sucks. So him and Nick Sorensen working together just didn't seem to fix our defense. So you saw that defense went from a big drop off, It went significantly down the hill. So it tells you how much coaching does matter. It doesn't matter how much talent you have on your team, bro. If you don't have the coaching staff to coach all that, the talent won't even matter, bro. That's all I gotta say, bro. Because with Nick Sorensen, what did he do to be qualified? He didn't have the experience except being a secondary assistant coach, except being a special teams coach. And even then, bro, just because you had track record with working in Seattle doesn't mean you qualify, bro. That's like me saying I qualify for the bigger position because I was around this other company, bro. But would I be kind of qualified because of the experience? Probably not, and probably because I have no business doing it. So there's a difference. There's a different qualification. And I just thought it was laughable. And that's what happened. I was getting called a lot of crap because I said this move just didn't convince me. I just said this Sorensen promotion it wasn't going to work. It really wasn't going to work. I said that guy just didn't seem to have what it takes. He didn't have what it takes. And I was right about it, man. And I just didn't see it work. He was so vanilla. He didn't know how to adjust. The run defense was god awful. It was 28. The pass defense was pretty solid. But you didn't have a defense to make stops. Especially on third down. On third and long, we had the worst defense. And they were still able to move. Red zone defense, you had a 60+% chance of scoring. Because of Sorensen. This guy is clueless. That was the difference. And that's why our defense was so bad. So it proves that coaching does matter. So Robert Saleh, on the other hand, we know what he can be. We know what he's capable of because he's worked with us. And some of you guys are going to say, well, it's going to be like the 2017 Niners. Well, I disagree. The difference is we had to start from scratch. We had to start all the way from scratch. So let's not go there with that comparison. At least we have the talent, bro. At least we have the talent on defense, bro. We have Fred Warner. We have Nick Bosa. We have Malik Mustafa. We got Jair Brown, who's been around our system for a while. You got Diamond Lenore. You got Ronaldo Green, who's only going to get better. Then you look at the guys that we brought in, bro. So going into the free agency, yeah, we didn't go too big. We went bargain shopping a little bit. We went bargain shopping. That's okay. We're trying to be wise, but we're trying to build the right way. Some teams do it that way. Before the Packers went with Michael Parsons, the Packers were well known for bargain shopping. The Patriots, when they were successful, they were known for bargain shopping. Even the Chiefs were known for bargain shopping, bro. So it's nothing wrong with that approach. So what did Robert Saleh do for us in the offseason? He brought in his buddy, Gus Bradley, who knows how to run a defense. Gus Bradley knows defense because he learned from that guy. And he took it to him to another level, So he brought in one of his guys. And that's a huge plus over Brandon Staley, okay? And you see that he brought in the people that he was comfortable with. Jason Panux, he had him in the past with the Jets. He liked them so much. And this guy's going to be our starter going into opening day because he's versatile and he knows our system pretty well. So he might be the interesting piece that we added into free agency. Not a big splashy signing, but he might be very good. So I wouldn't sleep on this guy. We go into a trade and we get Bryce Huff. And some people are saying, well, he didn't work out with the Eagles. Well, did you see what he did with the Jets when he was with Robert Saleh? He had one of his best seasons. So a change of scenery and playing with a DC that you played before is going to be a huge difference. I believe that Bryce Huff's going to have a breakout season. I think going into the offseason, we addressed stopping the run. We got other pieces. You know, you look at the pieces that we added. We added a lot of defensive line talent. We got rid of some of the other guys who weren't worth it, who weren't producing up to the level, so we moved on with those guys. But we decided to get the young talent. We decided to go all big with these guys. And it's going to start to show huge dividends. So we do have the pieces to be a top 5 defense, man. That's going to be a quick turnaround, bro, because if this was 2017, bro, you would know it would be a huge work in progress and it would be all from scratch, bro. It's not the case. You have all the talent right there to make a top 5 defense, bro. If the defense was so bad, bro, from last year, how come it was top 5 in pass defense? It's not far off. The run defense needed to improve. The run defense had to improve. So it should be no better than what we are, bro. We're going to be a far better run defense. We're going to be more creative. The difference between Nick Sorensen and Robert Saleh is Robert Saleh is going to get creative in pressure. He's going to be a little creative. He's evolved over the years. You're going to see 5-man front pressure. You're going to see a little bit of mixed pressures to where it gets the quarterbacks off their game a little bit. But you're going to see a huge difference between that defense, bro. So I feel like that's the difference, bro. You're going to get a mastermind, a guy who gets creative and gets to the quarterback, bro. He knows how to get the best out of these players, bro. So if you look at our talent, bro, it's not far off. It's close enough to be where we were before he left, you know? It would be somewhere where he kind of like left off. It's kind of a good way to look at it. But yes, that's what I'm saying. So I believe we're more than capable of being a top 5 defense. Robert Saleh knows defense, and under his watch, it's always been a top defense. If you look at the first couple of years, yeah, he was a work in progress because he was working with a young, talented roster where it was from scratch. This Niners team still has the veterans. They still have the talent, bro. That can still quickly become a top 5 defense, bro. So it matters that coaching does matter. Sorensen had the talent, bro, and it wasn't enough. Saleh has this type of talent. He can work with that, bro. That's all I got to say, man.